The online coaching market is growing month on month, year on year. There's so many coaches coming online, breaking out of gyms and studios, and really breaking away from that time for money trap. But coming online can feel daunting because you're transitioning from being an in-person coach to becoming an online business owner, covering marketing, sales, delivery, and so much more. One of the key areas to building a successful online coaching business is creating and selling your online services. So today we're going to cover the steps that you need to take to create and sell an online coaching program worth £1,000 or more. And I'm joined by my business partner, Alex Povey, who's the head coach at the Remote Coaches Academy, a mentorship program for personal trainers and health coaches looking to grow their online coaching business. So let's dive straight in. Alex, where do we start with this?
All right, so the first thing would be to think about who you want to help, what problem you're going to solve, and really think about what's a realistic time frame to help someone solve that problem. And that would be the first place that I start, right, with the offer, essentially coming up with the offer and the idea of what you're actually going to do. And then once you've decided on that, we can move to the next stage. Now, let me just give you an example. Let's just say you want to focus on men who want to lose weight and build muscle. And this is something that you want to deliver inside of 12, 16 weeks as an initial program. That would essentially make up your initial offer.
Okay, so what's next?
So the next step would be to decide on the tools that you're going to use, okay? You're probably going to need some form of training app, TrueCoach, My PT Hub, EverFit, maybe Trainerize. Now the cool thing about Dave's channel is he's done a ton of reviews on all types of different training software, and I'd go take a look. Go and look to see which one that you like the look of the most, which one resonates with you, because they all do pretty much the same thing, but they're going to have slightly different price points or slightly different visual aspects. And you want to find something that can deliver a training plan, can allow you to communicate with clients, maybe connects to something like MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck, will allow you to maybe track data in there, and also find something that's reasonable in terms of the price point. Some of them a little bit overinflated and some are an absolute bargain, but if you go to Dave's channel, maybe after this video, you can see tons of different reviews on all types of different apps, and then you can really find the right app for you. And then once you've decided on that tool, that's going to be your main hub, so to speak, when it comes to your online coaching offer and your online coaching delivery. What I would say though is you may not want to get a training app. We have some clients who just use Google Sheets, and they've got spreadsheets where they've got their training plans, check-ins, and their nutritional element all on a spreadsheet, and you could maybe just use Google Sheets. Doesn't cost you anything. It's a little bit more basic, but it's definitely something you could go for if maybe you don't want to go for one of these training apps and you prefer to just do everything inside a spreadsheet. Now, that would actually be a good option for certain types of clients. Busy executive men may just want to have the simplest way of communicating and working with you, and that could just be a spreadsheet, which they're used to using, an email. So a spreadsheet and email for a busy executive man, maybe in a C-suite position or high up in a company, doesn't want too much complication. They actually want simple. And so depending on your market, it may make more sense to go for something simple over a fancy app.
Okay, so we've got an offer in place and we've chosen an app, or we're using Google Sheets. So what would we consider next?
So the next thing I'd be thinking about is your onboarding process. So really thinking about the journey when someone signs up. So when someone pays, what happens next? Typically you want to have some kind of welcome email with some terms of agreement, access to the sheets or the app that you've got. And you really want to be thinking about that process specifically in terms of onboarding the client. And ideally, if you're selling the type of service that we help our clients sell, it's going to be in that higher price range, £500, £600, £700, £800 or more for a 12-week program. And so for a service like that, there would be ideally a call involved for that onboarding process to really go through any onboarding questions, make sure that you know where the client is at and where they're starting, and if there's anything you need to clarify, then you can definitely do that on the call. And that then gives you the opportunity to maybe give them some initial steps, get them some quick wins, and making them feel really good about signing up to this process.
Okay, got it. So we've considered onboarding. What would we look at next?
So the next thing I'd be thinking about is, if you're selling, say, a 12, 16 week program, I'd be thinking about the client journey. Okay, thinking about where you're going to be taking the client in terms of the next 12, 16 weeks. And so if you're building in some maybe habits or some lifestyle design elements on top of training and nutrition, then I'd be thinking about, well, where are you going to add that in and give that to the client throughout that journey? Is it going to be in week 2? Okay, and if it's in week 2, when are you going to introduce the next thing and the next thing? And maybe there's 3 or 4 things that you drip into that client journey. So it's not just a training plan and some nutrition and calorie tracking or counting that they're getting from you and check-ins, but they're also getting an element of building in new habits along the way. And maybe there's some education built in there too.
Okay, great. So what's the next thing?
So the next thing I'd be thinking about is the check-in process. Now, this varies from coach to coach, preference to preference, but it could be a form that you send out each week to collect some data. And then once you've got that data, you could basically do a screen share of that data and that check-in information and deliver a video to the client. They don't have to jump on a call with you. You could use something like Loom and deliver that feedback. That's one option. You could jump on a quick 50-minute call each week with your client, or maybe if you're working with someone like an emotional eater, jumping on a 30-minute coaching call per week might be the best option for that type of client. Or you may want to go for a blend of the both, where it's maybe they share some check-in information and data with you, and 3 weeks out of the month, you're basically just doing a screen share, you're walking through the data, you're giving them feedback, and then once a month you jump on a call and you have a conversation, you talk about their wins, their obstacles, their challenges and next steps, and really create that bond, right? Because in a personal training setting or an offline setting, it's much easier to maintain the relationship because you're meeting each other on a consistent basis, versus online, you kind of lose that element unless you're maybe using voice notes, unless you're using videos, unless you're using calls to really strengthen that bond and that relationship. So thinking about your check-in process is going to be key. And I'd also think about what can you do in the week, maybe before your official check-in, because I'd be sending maybe a voice note or a message during the week just to check in on the client to see that they're doing okay, to make sure that they feel supported.
Okay, so we now have a check-in process in place. Is there anything else?
All right, so once you've got those things in place, I'd be thinking about the enrollment process and getting clients booked onto consultations or calls and seeing if they're a good fit for this offer and program that you've created, and then enrolling those clients and just being really open to this process of delivery evolving and refining over time, right? A lot of clients, members inside the academy are basically creating what we call a beta offer and program, just an initial program. They're bringing some clients through and they're just observing and seeing what questions are being asked, maybe what obstacles people are coming into, and then they're building out more trainings or resources. Maybe they're adding things or maybe even taking things out just to make the client experience smoother and faster for getting results. Now, in addition to the things that I've mentioned, what really goes into these programs that are worth £600, £700, £800, £900 or maybe even £1,000 or more is really results, right? That's really what someone is paying for at the end of the day, results. And so in order to get results, you want to basically get people doing the least amount of things for the most amount of output or benefit. Okay, so it's not always about more things equals more value. It's about what are the core things that you need to be going over repeatedly with those clients in order for them to get results. And there's probably going to be an element of training, nutrition, habit or lifestyle design, and there's going to be a lot of accountability in that process to command that top level fee. And so really think about less is more, and sometimes doing what's already working and doubling down on it with the client is going to get them to their goal faster. And that's what they're paying for, right? They're paying for speed to the result. And if you can get them there quicker, then it's actually worth more and you can charge more for what you do.
If you wanted to learn more about the Remote Coaches Academy, which is a mentorship program for personal trainers and health professionals looking to grow their online businesses, then I'll drop a link in the description below and also in the comments. You can click that link and find out some more information. Now, if you're looking for more content to watch on how to start, grow, and scale your online coaching business, then be sure to check out the video I've got linked up here on how to start an online coaching business in 2023. In this video, me and Alex dive into 7 simple steps that are going to help you grow and scale your online coaching business. Be sure to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.